YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Knockout 360 here with another video for you guys. So as you can tell, I'm in the car, man. That makes this a car vlog. You already know what's going down when I come around. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. First things first, car content, car shows, car reviews, car meets, anything and everything car related happens on this channel, man. So if you're into that, make sure that you stick around because you're in the right place. For everyone else, hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you know what's coming out and when it's coming out, right? So boom, let's talk about it, man. So obviously this is kind of a late announcement. The announcement already took place. We've already watched the announcement of Dodge's plans to bring out the first all-electric American muscle car. We've already talked about that. World's first full battery electric muscle car. That's what they're titling it as. Electrification can give us more, right? And he literally said, and when I say he, I'm talking about Tim Kaczynskis, right? The CEO of the Dodge brand, literally said that if electricity or electrical power can give us more power, then that's what we're going to do. And you know, like I know, that's the honest to God truth. I mean, conventional engines can only do but so much. They're only going to give you so much. You can only push them but so far. I understand that. Not to mention in the society that we live in the age that we live in right now, people are moving away from those big, heavy V8 engines. They're gas guzzlers. They're terrible for the environment. They're not efficient, and they're just traditional, old, and archaic as far as their design is concerned. I understand that. But so he said that he's going to introduce the world's first all-electric, battery-powered muscle car, which we're all looking forward to in 2024. You may not be, but trust me when I say, when that thing comes out and it's doing 1,000 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and you can drive that thing for 500 miles, you can drive that thing from, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can drive it from Charlotte to damn Virginia and back on one tank or one charge. Then you'll know what's up. And then probably back on, again on one charge. That will change your mind. You feel me? But one thing that we didn't explore. So if you look at the commercial, the actual body style of the all-electric muscle car looks like it's going to be very boxy. It looks like it's going to be kind of an homage to the older muscle car. So a lot of people were saying it's going to look like an older muscle car, but it's going to have obviously new electric battery technology in it, right? That particular car looks like a box in the sense that it looks like a updated retrofitting of like a 1970s body style for a Charger, right? Obviously, they're not going to give us a 1970s body style. That's just not going to work. But it looks very boxy, very square, and very much so something that looks like something out of the 1970s that got brought into 2024. In that particular video, there was a scene where Tim Kaczynskis, the Dodge brand CEO, went to another car that happened to be under a car wrap or car sheet or car cover, and he lifted up the front end, lifted up the front right end, right? And that car looks significantly different than what the all-electric muscle car is supposed to be. So the all-electric muscle car looks like a box, a square, and I'll put up the diagram or the description here, or the picture here. It looks like a square. Like I said, it looks like an updated, modernized 1970 body style of a Charger or something like that, right? Obviously, we know it's going to have brand new technology, so on and so forth, but you know, Dodge is going to mix it up how they do. But this car that he's pulling the sleeve up on looks nothing like that. This car looks sleek, looks rounded, looks like it's got a lot of ventilation, right? It's got a front vent, two front vents from what we're seeing here, one on the side, a side vent, and then it's got a big vent down at the bottom. Why would you need a vent for an all-electric car? They don't overheat, right? When's the last time you seen a Tesla with the front end vent? They don't have vents. They don't overheat. They're battery powered. They're electric. Electric cars don't overheat, to my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't need vents that big or vents period for all electric muscle cars. So what we're looking at here and what's being displayed in the video are two different cars here. We're looking at an all electric muscle car in one frame, and then we're looking at something completely different that has yet to be named or seen in this scene here for the scene that he's pulling up the car cover. We've talked about the CUDA, right? We've talked about the Dodge CUDA coming out pretty soon, sooner rather than later. We've talked about them bringing a CUDA that's supposed to be lighter and faster, two-door. It's supposed to have the Hellcat engine, supposed to be introducing the mild hybrid system. It's supposed to be, like I said, lighter than the Charger and Challenger. It's supposed to be around 37 to 3,800 pounds, 37 to maybe 4,000 pounds, which is, I mean, anywhere between 500 to 700 pounds lighter than modern day Hellcat. So it's going to be lighter. It's going to be faster. It's going to be more agile, better handling, I would assume. We've talked about the CUDA. We've talked about that coming out, but we've also talked about that body style is going to look a little more squarish, similar to a Challenger, right? Not as square, because obviously you don't want to confuse the two or mix the two up, but similarly body styled, something squarish like that, right? This car looks very rounded. This almost looks like the front end of a modern day wide body Charger, but obviously we know it's not a wide body Charger. The vents don't look like a wide body Charger, right? Let me throw something out there. What if they bought the Viper back? Doesn't this look kind of Viper-esque? You know? Like, there's two pictures. There's one picture where he's lifting up the car cover and you can see a little bit of the front end. And then there's another picture where the car is hidden behind him and it's under the car cover completely and you can't tell. But doesn't that look sort of Viperish? Wouldn't this be a great time to bring back the Dodge Viper in the day and age like this and give it updated everything, updated interior, updated performance, updated engine? Even if it's going to have an engine, it may not have an engine, maybe electric. Wouldn't it be dope if they brought the first all-electric muscle car and then all-electric American luxury sports car to the market at the same time? I'm just spitballing here, but this does not look like a Charger. This does not look like a Challenger. This looks like something completely different. No, I take that back. It wouldn't be all electric Viper because it's got the vents. And like I said, we don't need electricity, or we don't need, you know, cooling for the battery in the electric car. But what if they brought the Viper back? Is this the Viper we're looking at here? Is this the CUDA we're looking at here? Or is this just an updated Charger? Maybe they just wanted to give you a little sneak peek as to what to expect. The vents give it away, so it's going to be a V8 engine, or at least a naturally gas-powered engine. V8, of course. Dodge isn't going to move away from the V8 too soon. But what if they brought something else? They haven't mentioned anything about the Challenger coming back, right? We've heard all kinds of reports and speculation about the CUDA dropping, and I've always said that if the CUDA drops, why do we need the Challenger? The CUDA is supposed to be 2 doors like the Challenger, Hellcat engine like the Challenger. It's supposed to be rear-wheel drive like the Challenger. They haven't mentioned anything about all-wheel drive. They're going to be introducing the e-hybrid system, the 5.7-liter e-hybrid torque system, similar to what they got with the Ram, which makes sense because we're moving into that day and age, so they're going to have to start introducing that electric hybrid system more and more often. It's going to be lighter than the Challenger, going to be more agile, not as boxy as the Challenger, not as big as the Challenger. So everything that the Challenger is, the best parts of it is going to be better with the CUDA. Why do we need the Challenger? It wouldn't make sense to have a Charger V8, Challenger V8, CUDA V8, and then an all-electric muscle car. One of those cars have to go. It's not going to be the all-electric, and it's not going to be the Charger. The Charger in and of itself is in its own market. No one can compete with the Charger. 797 horsepower sedan, American muscle car, under 100,000. The Charger is here to stay. Legit here to stay. It's not going anywhere. The Challenger, on the other hand, I don't know. The Challenger looks outdated in and of itself. Just the body style. It's a box. It's a brick on wheels. Let's keep it real. It's a brick on wheels. It's not aerodynamic. It's not obviously gas efficient. That looks like the most likely car to go. If any car has to go, that's going to be the car that has to go. Is the Challenger. Now, with that being said, what's going to replace it? It has to be the CUDA. It's got to be the CUDA. Charger and the CUDA. Charger and the Barracuda are going to have to replace it. But specifically, one thing that we've always wanted is that Viper. We've always wanted the Viper back. At least I have. The Viper in this day and age would serve a very unique purpose, man. In this day and age with, you know, supercars and exotic cars, your Lambos, your McLarens, Mercedes just dropped their AMG GT-R Black Series. I think the Viper would fit in just perfectly. And then, of course, the Corvette C8 mid-engine V8 engine or V6 engine. If I'm not mistaken, twin turbo V6. I don't know. And then, of course, Ford, obviously, with their Mustang and what have you. I think that the Viper would serve a very key place in car manufacturing right now. I think it would. It needs to be brought back. To my understanding, 2017 was the last time that the Viper was produced. I think 2022, 23, 24, a new Viper Hellcat engine would dominate. I mean, the Viper in and of itself was built for power. Unlike the Charger and the Challenger, it was aerodynamic, it was track focused, it was ready to go. I think the Viper came with like 335s, 345s in the back. You're not losing traction with that. I mean, I never really saw Vipers losing traction like that. For one, I never saw Vipers at drag strips. I always saw Vipers on tracks. So that could be a completely different story in and of itself. But one thing that I do know for a fact is that those Vipers were killing Corvettes. They were dominating the sports market, the American sports market, or sports car scene. Nobody was messing with the Viper. Even the Viper was up there with the Lambos and the McLarens and, you know, your AMGs, your GTRs, and things like that. If Dodge brought the Viper back, it would be legitimate. It would be a necessity. And looking at that particular video and just how he was pulling up that front end, I don't know what's under the hood of that car cover, but it doesn't look electric because it's got two big vents, and I would assume on the other side are two big vents, and I would assume in the middle is another vent. Vents are for cooling engines, naturally aspirated big V8 engines, not electric muscle cars, you know. 2024 is going to be an interesting year, man. Real talk. Dodge, it has something planned, and I think it's going to be huge, man. Let's be honest here. Dodge has given us the same car for this last 6.5, almost 7 years. Since 2015, we've had Hellcat. They gave us a bigger Hellcat, bigger supercharger. They gave us bigger tires, wider bodies. The interior is the exact same. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that big, what is it, 11 or 12-inch screen that the Rams got? I would not be surprised if we had that thing right here. Can you imagine having a screen that big just right there in your car? Not a truck, your car? 2024 is going to be a good year, man. I do not know what car that is. Could be the updated Charger. Could be a new CUDA. Could be a Viper. We don't know. Talk to me, guys. What do you know that I don't know that I'm not talking about? Because I know you guys know something. As always, it's been your boy Knockout 360, man. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.